Hello, everyone that is watching the replay. Let me actually fix my chat real quick so that we don't have any trolls. Perfect. So I am about to do a Bible-based lesson really quick, and I'm doing this live because I felt like my lives need to have a lesson first, and then I will go into Q&A. But I'm going to go over some Bible verses once everyone is in here, and then afterwards I will go into Q&A. So if you are new to me, I am Alchemistic, and if you would like to work with me personally, links to my services are always in the description. I also have a brand new free self-concept guide. If you have not downloaded it, you can download that on my website as well. But yes, we are going to be going into Bible scriptures, guys. And when I go over Bible scriptures, I interpretate it in the lens of manifestation. This is not the religious interpretation. So if you were on my channel because you want a religious take on it, I'm not the channel for you. Okay. So I will be going over some scriptures here, and I'm going to be reading, dropped it. I'm going to be reading from the King James Version first, and then I will be reading from the New International Version, because this story in the King James Version, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's even more cryptic. It's hard to understand because of the Old English language, and I will probably stumble over that, but that's okay. But that was the first way that I learned this story, so that's why I want to honor that. So we're going to be reading that first, and then I will be reading from the International Version. And yeah, we're going to go into a lesson on that after. I'm going to give it a few minutes. And yes, I have my glasses on, guys, because the print on these books is so small, so that way I can read it. I can read, and my vision is okay. I just have an astigmatism. So it's to help me stay on track. But today's lesson, while we're waiting on everybody, is on the widow and the oil. Okay, and I'm going to be talking about this in the lens of identity and knowing, on how to, quote unquote, get your manifestation. Okay, so if you are in my chat and you can hear me, I hope you guys can hear me. I've been over here babbling. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me and say hi, because I've got a few of you guys in here that have not said hi yet. Hi, Richard. Hi, Alyssa. Say hi, and we're going to give this a few more minutes, and then we'll get into it. And I might record where I start, and then I'm going to, I think there's a way for me to do that. I think there's a way for me to, no, there's not. I thought there was a way for me to like do a highlight of the video. That would be so helpful for me. I guess not. Okay. Because then what I could do, well, I can just download it. I can download the video, and then I'm going to cut it up, and oh, there's highlight. Perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click that, and hopefully it records my lesson, and then I can post that on my channel later for everybody that didn't join the live. Priscilla, you love this story? Perfect. Yeah, I was reading 2 Kings, and I was like, this needs to be talked about. So that's what I was reading. And so that's why we're going to go into it. Because if you are new to my channel, I do not preach techniques. I give you guys techniques to help you get into the identity, right? But I don't preach techniques. And this is what I preach. I preach knowing, I preach identity. I preach, what is identity? Self-concept. Self-concept is identity. Before more peeps come, it's Lisa. I'll try to remember that, but I'm probably going to still say it however I see it. It's really not that important. People mispronounce my name all the time. Like, my name is not common. My real name is not common. They mispronounce Alchemistic all the time too, and it doesn't bother me. Hi, Illyrian. But yes, we are going to wait for more people to come in here. Those that have just joined me, I will be going over Bible scriptures in the lens of manifestation. I'm going to go over a lesson first, and then afterward, I will do Q&A. Okay? We're going to be going over 2 Kings 4. The widow and the oil. I'm going to be reading from King James Version and then New International Version. Because I love the King James Version. It's beautiful. It's great, but it is Old English. I'm probably going to butcher it. That's okay. And then I will be reading this one to help everyone really understand the story here. I understood it from this one, but more people will understand it from this one. Yes, I have multiple Bibles, guys. But again, I do not read from the Christian, Catholic, any traditional religious interpretation. So if you're here for that, I am not the channel for you. My interpretation is through the lens of manifestation. And what is manifestation? Manifestation is reality shifting. It's quantum leaping. It's quantum jumping. It's all those things. And I will take my glasses off after I'm done, because I know the ring light on my glasses is actually bothering me. So I will take them off after. How was everyone's weekend? And I know I had to like reschedule this because I always plan to come on earlier, but I need to change this assumption, but then something comes up and I have to change it. But I'm always on here at the perfect time, so it doesn't matter. Maybe some people couldn't join me earlier today and they're able to join me now. That's how I see it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this. So my handwriting is atrocious. Don't mind that. I do chicken scratch, but I have everything bookmarked. So I'm gonna read from both Bibles, and then I have some notes here that I took down. Okay, that I'm gonna read, and there's gonna be a bonus verse as well. Okay, we got bonus material, but let's get into it. So, guys, I'm about to read from the Bible here, just to go over again for everybody that's joined. I'm going to read through the Bible. I'm going to read from the King James Version and then the New International Version of some verses for lessons for manifestation. This is not a Christian interpretation. This is not a religious interpretation. This is through the lens of manifestation. If you would like to work with me personally, links to my services are always in the description. But let's go ahead and get into it. So we are reading 2 Kings chapter 4, okay? And we're going to go through verse 1 through 7. Okay. Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elijah, saying, Thy servant my husband is dead, and thou knowest that thy servant did fear the Lord. and the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be bondmen. And Elijah said unto her, What shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in the house? And she said, thine handmaid hath not anything in the house save a pot of oil. Then he said, Go borrow the vessels abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels, borrow not a few. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons, and shalt pour out into all those vessels, and thou shalt set aside that which is full. So she went from him and shut the door upon her and upon her sons, who brought the vessels to her, and she poured out. And it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And he said her, There is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go sell the oil, and pay thy debt, and live thou and thy children of the rest. So now I'm going to read the same version, the same scripture that I just read in the International Version, so that way you guys can understand the message here. Some of you probably already do, and that's fine. But this is for those that might not understand Bible scripture, okay? So in the International Version, it's literally called the widow's olive oil. If you guys can see it, I'm not sure. It might be reversed. The wife of a man from the company of the prophets cried out to Elijah, Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that he revered the Lord. But now his creditor is coming to take my 2 sons as his slaves. Elijah replied to her, How can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? What do you have in your house? Your servant has nothing there at all, she said, except a small jar of olive oil. Elijah said, Go around and ask all your neighbors for empty jars. Don't ask for just a few. Then go inside and shut the door behind you and your sons. Pour oil into all the jars, and as each one is filled, put it to one side. She left him and shut the door behind her and her sons. They brought the jars to her, and she kept pouring. When all the jars were full, she said to her son, Bring me another one. He replied, There is not a jar left. Then the oil stopped flowing. She went and told the man of God, and he said, Go sell the oil, pay your debts. You and your sons can live on what is left. So, guys, I'm going to bookmark that again because it is a powerful story for manifestation. Let's go through my notes here. But tell me really quickly, do you understand the message so far and what I'm about to get at? You can tell me in the comments and I will read them after I go through my notes here. So the story of the widow and the oil is flowing based on her knowing and preparation, right? She went out and got as many jars as she could, her and her sons. And after there were no more jars, that's when everything ran out. It didn't run out before, right? It ran out just at the perfect time after all the jars were filled. And she didn't know how many jars she was going to have. That's why she asked her sons, Give me another one, right? Let's continue here. My notes here is that there was no timeline, there was no energy work. She acted from knowing, from her identity, from knowing what Elijah said to her was going to be true. Period. The end. No matter what the circumstances were. She only had a little bit of oil. How could you logically think that that would fill all those jars? But it did, right? She didn't wait for proof, right? She didn't sit here and wait. Oh, are the stars aligned? You know, is it Mercury retrograde? Did the tarot reader on TikTok tell me that this was going to happen? No, she just knew. She knew. She just had the faith, right? That's what faith is. It's knowing. She didn't say, let me check if the oil flows first, right? She didn't go to look to see, oh, is there going to be enough oil? She just knew there was, right? She acted as if the outcome was already done. And that's what any coach worth their salt will tell you. You act as if, right? And you don't even have to believe it, because sometimes things happen in your life that you don't believe, but then they happen anyway, right? How many times have you heard somebody that, went through a divorce and their partner brought up the divorce and they said, I didn't see this coming. I never believed they would do this. They didn't believe, but they knew deep down. And it was their identity that had that knowing that, oh, they're going to do this because I'm not good enough. I'm not chosen, right? It all comes down to knowing an identity. So let's continue here. So Elijah didn't say visualize to create more oil. And this is what I tell you guys, you don't need techniques. Elijah didn't say sit there and pray, which is the Bible's version of affirmations, right? Elijah didn't say sit there and pray. Elijah didn't say visualize that the oil is going to keep flowing until you've filled all the jars. Elijah just said, go to all your neighbors, get as many jars as possible, and watch them be filled, right? What story does this remind you guys of? The digging the ditches story, right? Being out in the middle of the desert, no sign of water, and they know to dig the ditches because water is going to come, and then it does. Same thing here, same principle. Here's the thing, guys. These principles are said over and over and over and over in Scripture. It's said over and over and over and over in multiple religions. It's said over and over and over in all spiritual teachings, even science. It's in everything. I'm just going over this so that way those of you that were raised maybe Christian or Catholic or Latter-day Saint or what have you will resonate with this, because I was raised Christian. I'm not religious. I believe that all religions are saying the same core things. So I guess you could call me an omnist, right? But let's continue here. God doesn't multiply what you're doubting. He multiplies what you prepare for. Think about the story of Jesus, and I wrote this down, Matthew 14:13 through 21, where he took but a few fish and bread and fed thousands, right? And how did he feed them? He sent his disciples out to gather the baskets, and he overflowed the baskets. Those are the vessels. You are the vessel. You are the vessel of God. And what is God? Your true self. That's it. Think of your life as the vessel. Prepare as if you're going to get that thing, right? Now, if you're trying to manifest millions, I'm not telling you to go out and buy a yacht, right? Mentally prepare for what that lifestyle will look like, because it's going to be totally different, right? It's an entirely different mentality from making, say, $3,000 a month to $100,000 a month. Completely different. Let's continue here. The miracle wasn't the oil, it was the knowing, the identity. And this is what I preach, guys. It's your knowing, your identity that shifts your reality. What is self-concept? Self-concept is your identity. It's how you see yourself and how you see others in relation to you. Right? That's what self-concept is. And what is remembering? I have a video on this on my channel. To go back to the identity of having whatever it is that you desire. Because if you have the desire, that reality exists. All realities exist right now. Simultaneously, anything you can think of exists. And how you shift to that reality is by being the identity that is experiencing that reality. It's a completely different identity and mindset of someone, again, that is making $3,000 a month versus $100,000 a month. Jeff Bezos' example, I've given that on my channel before. That man makes like $7-8 million an hour. He makes $200 million a day. One day. If you talked to Jeff Bezos back in 1995 and you told him he'd be making that kind of money, he would look at you like you're crazy. That's a different version of Jeff Bezos than the one that we know now. The one that we know now just dropped $55 million on his wedding. $55 million to him, he's worth over $220 billion, is the equivalent of someone making $60,000 a year spending $15 on their wedding. You see how that's a different mindset, a different identity. He doesn't check prices and clip coupons. He doesn't worry how much the light bill is. He probably doesn't even know what the gas prices are right now. See, completely different mindset, right? He's not checking his bank app every 2 seconds, wondering why the money isn't there. Who are you being when you're doing that? Who are you being when you're checking your person's social media to see, have they followed new people? Have they liked this girl's photo? Right? Going through their likes and seeing, are they following certain people? I'm saying this because I've been there, okay? I call myself out all the time and I use it to help you guys. So, with all of this being said, prepare mentally and through identity to experience the reality that you want to experience. What does that look like? What does that feel like? When they say feeling is the secret, it's not really emotions. You are human. You are meant to have emotions. And I talk about this on my channel. That's a misconception. That if you cry, you're spiraling and you're not going to get your manifestation. Don't listen to that nonsense. Okay? You are meant to have human emotions. You are meant to cry. You're meant to feel joy. You're meant to feel anger. This is a duality-based reality. Let's go into science. There has to be an opposite to everything for you to understand what it is that you even want. You wouldn't know what sweet tastes like without sour. You wouldn't know what hot feels like without cold. You wouldn't know light without darkness. So you see, your negative emotions are just emotions. They don't dictate who you are, your identity. They also don't ruin your manifestation. Have the cry, punch the pillow, and then go back to self. It's that simple. It's like someone that's trying to lose weight. Any good nutrition coach or fitness coach will tell you 80-20. As long as you are eating right for your body 80% of the time, you will see results. If you're trying to lose weight, that's a calorie deficit, right? And eating what's best for you. Some people that's low carb, some people that's high carb, low fat, right? It's different things. 80% of the time, being the identity that has what you want. It's okay to slip up. You get back on the horse. If you learn to ride a bike, and I brought this up in coaching recently, when you learn to ride a bike, you're going to wobble, you're going to fall. But what do? You just get back on the bike. And then once you learn to ride a bike, it doesn't matter how long it's been. It's probably been over a decade since I've been on a bike. But if I got on a bike right now, I would be able to ride it because I learned how to ride it. Right? So guys, since I still have my glasses on, do you guys want me to read Matthew 14, 13 through 21? Or are we good on what I've already read? You tell me. And while you're doing that, I'm going to grab some drink real quick. So I've got to go off to the side because I got to put it under my mask. But let me know. Do you guys want me to read that scripture or not? Or do you want to get into questions? Okay, perfect. King James Version or New International? I think probably New International just because it's easier to understand. Old English is a little bit harder to understand. I understand it, but a lot of people don't. All right, so we're going to go to Matthew 14, 13. Perfect. And while I'm doing this, if you guys have questions, you can put them in the chat and I will get to it right after. And I totally forgot to do the whole highlight thing and record me preaching. So I'm just going to have to download this entire video and then chop it up. It's fine. It's totally fine. I can do it. Did I pass it? I did not. Okay. Okay. We're going to 14. Okay, 14. So on here, it doesn't have the verses like the rest of it. Oh, there it goes. Okay, perfect. So this is the story of Jesus feeding the thousands. So it says Jesus feeds the 5,000. Jesus heard what had happened. He withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing of this, the crowds followed him on foot from the towns. When Jesus landed and he saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed their sick. As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." Jesus replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." "We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. "Bring them here to me," he said. And he directed the people to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate was about 5,000 men, besides women and children. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I think I skipped it. Okay. Hold on. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Perfect. Because the next one is Jesus walks on water. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. It was their faith in him, right, that created the fish and more loaves to feed the thousands. It's not the affirmations. It's not the visualizations. It's not the techniques. It's your knowing. It's your identity. That's what it all boils down to. Literally. That's what it all boils down to. And now that I don't have those on, I can put this up, because when I had my mask actually on the right way, my glasses were fogging up. Those of you that wear glasses know. And I only need them when I read this smaller print like that. So guys, any questions? Okay. Any questions? Comment. And we'll go through them. But this was 30 minutes, actually, well, 20 minutes, because the first 10 minutes I was waiting on people to join. But 20 minutes of scripture and lesson within it. Magic 8 Ball, I think this is the first time you've done a live with a bottom mask. I've done a live with a bottom mask before. Go look at the collaboration I did with Olivia. Olivia is from Master Manifestors. I have a playlist and it just has that video. I'm picky who I collaborate with. I have had other people reach out, but I don't resonate with their content. So that's why I haven't done more yet. I'm open to it as long as the messages are similar to what I teach. Sue N. I'm manifesting my SP who has 3P, and I know for the fact that it doesn't matter, as you said, there is a reality of my desire. Exactly. What 3P? I don't know what 3P you're talking about. And what SP? Who is this person? Go watch my video on the biggest mistake you can make with SP manifestation. Who is this person? Because if you were trying to manifest, right, anyone else, let's say a high school friend you wanted to get back in contact with that you haven't heard from in years, or let's say you want to fix a relationship with a family member, you would not come to me and say, I'm trying to manifest SP. You would say, I'm trying to get back in contact with a friend I haven't heard from in a long time. Or I'm trying to mend the relationship with my mom, or whatever it is, right? That's what you would say. So who is this person? And what 3P? You realize that everything in your reality only exists because you say it does? And it's your awareness? Even me. I can only show up in your version of reality if you're aware of me. Everyone and everything. Priscilla, it's so hard for me to stay convicted, like to believe. I just went over this earlier. Did you not hear me saying that you don't need to believe? You just need to know. How many people do you know that said, I never believed this would happen? I never believed it. Both good and bad situations, right? Like let's say somebody went and bought a lottery ticket and didn't believe that they would win, but they did. But they knew deep down that they would. It's a knowing. It's not the belief. Sue N. However, lately I'm not interested to do any techniques. Techniques don't manifest. And manifestation is not creation. Creation is finished. Manifestation is shifting realities. It's quantum leaping. It's quantum jumping. You shift realities by being the identity that is experiencing that reality. All realities exist right now. Everything exists right now. All timelines, all realities, everything. I'm still trying to remember what you said, but your name reads like Alyssa. Sorry. There are some affirmations that I do that make me feel so good. I did a very nice visualization this morning, fell asleep, had a great dream about me and my gorgeous wife. Perfect. That dream happened. It already happened. Maybe better said to persist. I mean, if that's what you resonate with, I don't persist. I just know once, and that's it. You can know something one time and it will happen. JJC, I want to see myself clearer. My awareness is still on waiting to be enough for what I want. Am I misinterpreting the amount of time it takes to fulfill my desires? What time? JJC, you are not new to this. I am not the only coach that you follow. I know that for a fact. You were probably in his live earlier, correct? I didn't see his live because I was busy. I'm probably going to watch the replay because I know he was going over Bible scriptures as well. It's ironic because I scheduled mine before he did his. That's how it's been happening recently. But you follow both of us. What do both of us say about time? Priscilla, true. I'm making this harder than it needs to be. Exactly. You are making this harder than it needs to be. Think about a time when you were a child and you just wanted some ice cream or whatever treat you wanted or toy or whatever it was. And you may have didn't even tell your parents, right, that you wanted it. You just wanted it and then you got distracted and went on about your day. And then all of a sudden you had it. Why? Because children don't overcomplicate it. Children and special people do not overcomplicate things. This is why I absolutely love, I have a friend with a daughter that has Downs. I love her so much. If you can think of life through that lens, it's blissful. It is so amazing and blissful. She is always happy, always smiling, regardless of her disability and how she looks. And she's super smart, super smart. She chose to be, excuse me, she chose to be a victor instead of a victim. How many of us have 2 legs and can walk and still complain if we have to walk because there's not close parking spots at the shops, right? At the stores. We have to park further away and we complain that we have to walk. We have the legs to walk. Whereas someone might not have the legs and they have to be in a wheelchair, but they're still happy to do it. You see the difference? JJC, I guess staying in the state has been iffy, but it's just that ADHD brain that thinks it needs to react to things that I identify as frustrating. You can use your ADHD to your advantage. I have literal squirrel brain. Alyssa told me how to correctly pronounce her name just earlier in the live, and I totally forgot now. I forget what day it is. I forget what year it is sometimes. I still sometimes think it's 2022. Okay? Like, what? 2020 was 5 years ago? I literally sometimes forget how old I am. Okay? Use that to your advantage. Use the squirrel brain to your advantage. Okay? Think of the infuriating thoughts, right? I know that you're younger, so you probably don't have kids, but this is going to resonate with those that do. Any parent of a toddler will tell you if the toddler is having a temper tantrum and not hurting itself or anyone else in its vicinity, to just ignore it. Let the child have its tantrum. Don't pay it any mind. Don't have any reaction. And I promise you, they will stop. That's your thoughts. How many fleeting thoughts do you have, especially with ADHD, that you think of once and you're like, why did I even think of that? And then you just go on about your day. Think of the negative thoughts that way too. And you don't have to monitor your thoughts, right? You don't have to monitor your thoughts. That's what a lot of people misunderstand in the manifestation world. And it's because of other coaches telling them they have to have a good mental diet. They have to have positive thoughts or they're not going to get the thing, right? They're not going to get the thing because, oh no, they thought against it. Really? How many times have you thought against something, but then it happened anyway? Good and bad. Why? Because it's not the thoughts. It's your knowing. It's your knowing and your identity. That's what I preach on this channel. Law of being, mostly. I label myself as law of attraction and manifestation to bring people in. Say, okay, here, hold on. Here's the cookie. Oh, hold on. It's not a cookie. Now it's a brownie, right? Like, it's totally a bait and switch. And I am not ashamed of it, okay? But there is truths in law of attraction, law of assumption, all manifestation practices, all spiritual practices, science, religion. That's why I read the Bible, everything. It's just the way it's interpreted. But most people misinterpret it and they think, oh no, if I have this negative thought, and then they drive themselves nuts. Dude, when you know about my lazy girl method, you know about that story. I literally thought once, I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to celebrate my weight loss. I'm going to celebrate my body. And I'm going to be a sexy bitch on the beach. Period. 3D circumstances. Right? 3D circumstances. My friend hit me up and said, hey, you might want to reschedule for next week. It's storming. No problem. Rescheduled. I didn't think twice about it. I said, okay, that's better anyway. Right? I got shit to do this week. It's better anyway. I'll have more time to pack. I gave it good meaning. It worked out perfectly. Right? That week of that I was supposed to go down there. She messaged me. She said, hey, it's still storming. I don't think we're going to be able to go to the beach. I was like, my ass is going on the beach. I don't care what you do. I'm going on the beach. It could be raining cats and dogs. I'm going to be on the beach. But in my mind, I said, no, it's going to be perfect. The weather is going to be perfect. Of course it is. Of course. And then I moved on. And I continued to what? Gather the jars. Gather the vessels. I packed. I prepared. I bought the sunscreen. I tried on my bikinis to see which ones I wanted to wear. Right? I still what? Chopped wood, carry water. This is not just religion. Not just Christianity, I'm sorry. Old Buddhist proverb. Chop wood, carry water. I still did the thing. And then when I got there, I literally drove there. It was raining when I was driving there. It was raining when I got into Florida. The moment I got to my Airbnb, it stopped raining. And it didn't rain after that the entire time I was there. It started raining after I left. And then Hurricane Milton happened. So if you want timeline, go ahead and Google Hurricane Milton. Right? Okay, let me scroll up here. That sums up your coworkers. So your coworkers are toddlers. JJC, heck yes, I completely let these thoughts slide off now because it literally gave me alopecia to try and flip every single thought. Yeah, you guys wouldn't know this, but a few years ago, I used to have female pattern baldness. I used to like my hair isn't extremely thick because I don't want it to be thick. I don't like I had thick hair before I had my son. It was thick, it was super curly, it was spirals. I had 3A to 3B curls. And now, of course, this isn't my natural texture. I did blow it out, but my natural texture is wavy. Excuse me. I have 2B to 2C waves if you know textures. It's a lot easier to deal with where it's fine. It's not as coarse and thick and everything else. So my hair thinning out and me having female pattern baldness at one point was a blessing because now my hair is easy to do. Like doing this really quick, my hair took me like 15 minutes. There was no way it would take me that long before. All I did was last night, took a shower, slept with my hair in a certain style overnight, and then today before I got on here, I just took a little round brush with a blow dryer real quick for 10-15 minutes and boom, bam, it's done. Like that's how easy my hair is to do. If I do it wavy, I just wet it, I put some mousse in it really quickly, and I let it dry. That's what I wanted. When I had like thick, coarse, curly hair, it was a nightmare. Okay? It was a nightmare to fix. AL, as long as your reflection of me, I'm good. Perfect. Oh, damn. Now I want brownies. Thanks, me, you, everyone. Brownies do sound good. They do. I talked about weight loss and stuff like that because I'm back on a cut. So I will not be having brownies, but that's all you. I had my treats yesterday. So not today. Not today. I could have a Greek yogurt with my protein mixed in because it's actually really good. I could have that. That sounds good. Sophia, did you manifest having a son or was it unconscious? I believe that I did. And I love this question. I do not mind this question. Before I had my son, I was told that I would never have kids. Okay. I was told because of trauma that I went through as a little girl. And I don't want to go into that because I don't want to trigger anyone. But because of that trauma, my body did not develop correctly, and therefore my uterus was undersized and tilted. As a female, you probably understand what I'm saying. And so I had actually a few miscarriages before I had my son, and I had a couple after. I was told I would never carry a child after 3 months. Usually my miscarriages were after 2 to 3 months. And so when I got pregnant with my son, me and his dad were actually trying to get pregnant. And I know that sounds crazy because I was young at the time, but we were actually trying. I was ready for a child. I wanted a child. I just wanted to be a mom. And we were trying for a long time. And I actually had one of the miscarriages with him. And after a while, he said, we might as well just give up. And then one time when we were being intimate, I just knew. I had this knowing that I am pregnant right now, right? Like it was just an overwhelming knowing. And that's why I talk about the knowing. And I told him, I was like, I think I'm pregnant. And he was like, it's probably just you're getting your hopes up. You know, I understand you have faith in it, but you're getting your hopes up. I don't want you to be disappointed. I was like, no, I'm not going to be disappointed because I'm pregnant. And then I missed my cycle and I said, see, I'm pregnant. And he was like, yeah, but you've done that before. And then, you know, it didn't happen. And then so I got a test and I was pregnant. And then he said, well, what if you just miscarry again like you always do? And what the doctor said, I was like, that doesn't matter because this one is happening. And that one is at work right now. He's 20. He works nights. He is at work right now. He knows that I'm on here. So yeah, I did quote unquote manifest my son. I just wasn't aware of manifestation in the way that I am now, but in hindsight, I was doing it the same way that I do now. Does that make sense? Okay, sexy bish. Is the water for brownies? How about some coffee or milk? I don't understand that, but okay. Everything in moderation, right? Absolutely. My uterus was tilted. It's actually more common than not. Yeah, it is. And mine was just also underdeveloped. So my son was born preemie size, even though he was full term. I carried him 9 months, but he was preemie size. Like he was tiny, super tiny. I had to put him in premature clothes when he was born. And the doctor said that that's the only way that he survived. That my uterus couldn't handle a larger child. So it's like the goldfish theory. You put a goldfish in a tank, it can only grow as big as the tank. It's tilted to say howdy. You can still come at me anyway, man. Exactly. But yeah, I had my son, and I did try to have children after that. Not with his father. It was after we lost him basically, and then I was with my ex-husband. And my ex-husband treated my son as his own for the duration of our marriage, and we tried, and I had more miscarriages. But I didn't have that knowing or that want for a child. It was more so trying to appease him because he wanted his own child. Um, I honestly didn't want to go through it again because my pregnancy was not the best. Um, I was high risk. I had he was on my back a lot of my pregnancy. I still have nerve damage to this day from that. And yeah, that's an assumption. I could probably change it. It's been less and less over time, though. Like, I haven't had an issue with it in probably a year. So I think it's my assumption that I am healthy and happy and healed. So I think that's why. Kizzy, what's sad? I don't find anything sad. What's sad? But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, I will take a few questions. I am going to get off of here probably in the next 15 minutes. So I will take more questions within the next 15 minutes. And then I'm going to call it a day and I'm going to get off of here. Alyssa, I've had a couple of miscarriages that I've never told family about even. Yeah, I feel that. And that was my case also. Because it's really it's your body. It's between you. Kizzy, it's sad losing babies. It happened to me. I don't find anything really sad. Because I understand life and I give everything a good meaning. Right? If I had not had the miscarriages that I had, I would end up having children with men that I didn't want to have children with. Does that make sense? And while I was married, I loved my ex-husband. I really didn't want another kid. It was mostly him. So those miscarriages happened because of that, right? So that's kind of why. And after that, I said that I wouldn't mind having a partner that has kids, and I have dated a few men after that that were single fathers. Magic 8 Ball, do extreme chronic pain conditions like cluster migraines come from your interstate too. I don't have those. I'm just wondering. I have a whole video on that subject. I think I have more than one actually. If you look at the video where I talked about curing my cancer, it's my cancer story. I also talk about curing my migraines. So great question. As far as coming from your state, yes and no, because I don't want you to think, oh, I caused them and blame yourself. And we're not here to victim blame, right? It's more so shifting into your power, knowing that you can shift to a version of you that no longer has the migraines, right? That no longer has the cluster headaches, that no longer has the arthritis, that no longer has the lupus, that no longer has all of these things that I've personally known people that have cured. Me and curing my cancer. It was a knowing. It was a knowing that it would take one treatment, and that's all it took. And I've been cancer-free for 20 years. I was diagnosed right after I had my son. It was cervical gone uteral. And the stage that I was at, I was told I would have to have a lot of treatments. I was told that I might have to have surgery and have a hysterectomy and a bunch of other things. And I said, no. I said, it's going to take one treatment and then I'm going to be fine. There's going to be no surgery. And that's exactly what happened. I forgot what stage I was at because, again, when you shift reality, sometimes you forget the old reality, right? The one that you shifted from. And it's kind of like when you meet up with people that you haven't known in years and they're like, wow, you're a completely different person. Yeah, because you are, because you've shifted so many times since then, right? I didn't realize the prognosis was that bad. Yeah, it was. I just didn't listen to it. It's kind of like them telling me that I couldn't have kids. I did anyway, right? I was told I would never have kids. Never. That it was impossible. We just talked about that just a minute ago. There's a lot of things that in my life I was told were impossible, and they happened anyway. Like, I do not come from money, guys. I come from poverty. Like, growing up, we were so poor that my mom had to decide what bill to pay. Often the lights were turned off, the gas, the water, you name it. My clothes came from hand-me-downs, and they came from thrift stores, Salvation Army, the church, right? Sometimes I couldn't wash my clothes for weeks on end and got made fun of at school because I smelled. Sometimes I didn't have food. And the house that I grew up in was one of the most horrible conditions you could be in. That's why I left when I was 16. I was told I would never amount to anything. I was told that I would end up being a statistic because I was a foster/adopted kid, right? I would end up being a statistic. I would be a streetwalker. Let's put it bluntly, right? Or dancing around a pole. I would be a drug addict. I would be an alcoholic, whatever it is. I don't have addictions. I've never done drugs. I've tried cannabis, but I'm immune to THC. Found that out. I don't overdrink. I don't get drunk. I enjoy a drink every now and then. But I drink maybe a few times a year to once a month. I don't smoke cigarettes. I've never tricked. I've never danced on a pole. Right? And I was making 6 figures at 19. In a time and era where that was unheard of for someone that didn't have a degree. I was doing it all online with e-commerce and running a couple of other businesses at 19. Working from home online in a time where that was not common. When people asked me what I did, they looked at me like I was crazy. Like with the car accident too. Yeah, my car accident was really bad. I'm just stubborn. I was told that I would never be able to move my neck certain ways. I was told that I would never be able to lift weights certain ways. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm going to do it anyway. Alyssa, I had uterine cancer and kept saying that I was going to get rid of it. Had a hysterectomy, it's gone. Perfect, if that's what you wanted. I have a cousin that same thing. She had uterine cancer and she wanted a hysterectomy. She was like done with it. So it worked out perfectly because then of course insurance paid for it. Sounds like we both have 9 lives. Yeah, I often joke that I'm a cat incarnate. Legends don't stay down. Period. Period. The end. 100%. $100. Oh, and guys, I might go ahead and completely, I don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe. I might leave it up just because, but I took down a lot of my posts on Reddit and I just left a few up and I'm leaving my comments up because I don't know what's going on recently on Reddit, but I was banned from a few different subreddits because I posted my free self-concept guide. I had been posting on there, sharing, answering comments for free, giving the same advice I give in coaching for free. But I was banned because I gave away something for free. So I'm like done with it. I'm a Leo. Okay. Astrology doesn't matter unless you believe it does. Magic 8 Ball, the law assumption one too. I don't know if I was banned on that one. I think it was the manifestation one for sure, and it was a few different other ones. Reddit is a cesspool. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't going on there often, but yeah, they banned me because I posted a my free self concept guide. In my opinion, the most logical, annoying people come from there. The most logical. Yeah, I replied to a comment and I was giving her free advice. And then I guess she went on my channel and saw some of my videos and then started critiquing my videos. It's like, girl, I'm giving you free advice. Why are you coming at me? Abdullah. We got Abdullah in the house, guys. Hey, I'm new to your channel and just watched the video where one of your clients landed their dream job after an exam. It's really inspiring me. I had a couple of questions. Yeah, shoot the questions. She's one of my favorite clients. I love that story. Literally, she took the test, and this is for a prestigious job, okay, guys, in her country. It's for a prestigious job. And she took this test that she prepared for months. and then got the template back, and it said that she failed. Okay? But she stayed in the state of knowing, as I taught her, that she passed. And then when the results came in, she passed. There was no way she could have, because she had her test her test answers and the template of the correct answers after, even though it wasn't graded yet by the officials. Right? So it's a done deal. Abdullah, how early should one start practicing your manifestation method before an important exam or goal? What do you mean? Time doesn't exist. So there is no such thing as early or late. Also, how do you deal with fear of failure, especially on days when motivation or energy just isn't? Fear is the old self. Fear is, as Neville Goddard calls it, the old man. If you watch my Two Wolves video, that's the evil wolf or bad wolf, right? You can't serve two masters, you can't feed two wolves. Everybody has a good wolf and an evil wolf. The evil wolf is fear, doubt, right? The fear is of failure. Why? Because then you're not going to be good enough. Right? That's what it all boils down to. So feed your good wolf. Your good wolf is the new identity that I am successful. Of course I passed this exam with flying colors because I'm that person. Right? Abdullah, you're in Barbados. Just as Abdullah told Neville, you already passed the exam. You already did. Yeah, the evil wolf gets vicious. The old self gets vicious, or the old man, because you're starving it. Nothing wants to die. Nothing wants to no longer exist, right? And a wolf, especially when you're starving it, it will start showing its teeth. It will start growling. It'll get aggressive. That's why I like the two wolves better than the two masters, because to me, it makes more sense. JJC, my coworkers have been saying incompetent, and I've been remembering how my ex told me I was. I've just been praying consistently to free myself. Why are you even entertaining it? If a bum on the street started calling you ma'am and said, "Hi, Tiffany," what would you do? You'd be like, "I'm sorry, my name is JJC." Right? I'm a guy. What are you calling me ma'am for? Own your identity. Why do you care what your coworkers say? You just told me that your coworkers are toddlers. Why do you care what toddlers say? Toddlers also pick their nose and eat their boogers. Toddlers also don't really know how to, especially boys, how to aim too well when they go to the bathroom. They're grown adults that act like toddlers. Yeah, so why do you care what they say? Why do you care? Do they pay your bills? Serious question. Do they physically go in on your bill apps, let's say your rent, your utilities, and click purchase and pay and send the money? Do they buy your groceries for your house? Do they control your life? Do they live your life for you? I already know the answer is no. So why is their opinion relevant? Right. So why does it matter? Why does it matter? Fight or flight is the old self. Again, that's fear. Fear is the opposite of love. The opposite of love is not hate, it's fear. View your coworkers differently. When they start talking the nonsense, think of it like a toddler speaking baby talk. Or they're having a temper tantrum. Alyssa, was it the construction worker from the Village People? You're silly. Yeah, why are you worried about what other people say? Do you think Kanye cares when people mock him because he loves himself? Real question. Do you think he cares when they mock like things that he does? No. He still does it. That goes with anybody that has a lot of money or, you know, has a great life. Why do you care? Right? Why do you care? Are they controlling your bank account? No. So the nonsense they say is baby talk. I have been revising this stuff in my mind. I just need to speak about it. It's the old self being afraid. They're right. Why would they be right? Why would they be right? Exactly. Baby talk. Like, why would they be right? I literally give zero fucks what people think about me. Not one. Why do you think I still wear masks on my channel? I first started doing it because when I did tarot and twin flame coaching, I didn't really show my face. Most of my content was off camera. Like when I did tarot, it would just be the cards and my hand shuffling the deck and showing the cards and me talking. If I was ever on camera, I had filters on with a mask or something else where it just didn't show my identity or my face. So I stayed with that. I swear. But, and this is why most of the time I wear the top mask so I can have a drink and stuff while I'm talking. But, I continue to wear them because I find it fun. And how many people come in here talking about it? Why you wear the mask? Why you do this? Why you do that? I don't care. I do it because I like it. It's fun. That's it. Like, I do it because I like it. And the thing is I'll make fun of myself. My top mask cover my 5 head. Okay? I don't care. I will literally not care. I will make fun of myself. And it's not in a bad way. Because here's the thing. All my life I was made fun of for my forehead. But look at anime characters. How do they draw them? Big eyes and a big forehead. Literally the pinnacle of beauty in anime. Right? Most top models have a 5 head in history. Tyra Banks is a huge example. So why do I care about some little shrimpy head telling me how I look? I don't care. Go on with your 2-inch little forehead. can't even wear full bangs. I can if I wanted to. Right? But no, sometimes like these masks, I can only imagine, like, if I had a small forehead, how would that fit? Because this is pretty tall. It fits me perfectly. Literally, the masks are made for me. Just saying. I'm going to have some of my drink because my throat is driving me nuts. I heard a comedian say, I don't have a forehead, I have an 8 head. Yeah. Yeah. I've literally had people make fun of me because of my, for having big eyes and a big forehead. It's like, that's how anime characters are drawn. Right? Drawn just like this, where it's this shape. I literally have the ideal anime face shape and everything. I don't care. Literally don't care. Because most of the people that make fun of it don't pay my bills, right? They don't control my life. It's not people that are my friends or a significant other or anything like that. So why would I care? I will give this another 5-ish minutes if there's more questions. Otherwise, I'm getting off of here. And I needed to download this and then chop it up with the actual lesson part. Because I totally just forgot to do the highlight thing. And see, that's my knowing. Like, I get more compliments than I do people hating on me. Right? And the hate is more so to try to bring up the old self. The person I haven't been in years. It still tries, but it doesn't work. Abdullah, I'll definitely watch the video you mentioned. I'm sure that'll give me a clearer understanding and help me come up with more focused questions after. Looking forward to diving deeper. Thanks. Yeah, I have so much content on my channel, guys. I literally give so much on my channel that I literally, it's the same thing that I coach in personal sessions. This is why I say one-on-one coaching is a luxury. It is not a necessity. I've had plenty of people shift just by watching my content. Because I don't gatekeep. Because I don't sit here and say, oh, you have to buy this course or you have to buy one-on-one coaching with me. No. The reason why I have courses, the reason why I have one-on-one coaching is for those that need that for their learning style. Some people need a structured course. Great, it's there for you. Some people want one-on-one coaching and they can afford it. They understand it's a luxury. It's not a necessity. It's kind of like going to the spa and getting your nails done, okay? Going and getting a mani-pedi at the spa is a luxury. It is not a necessity. You can easily paint your nails at home. I do. I did this. This is me. I did not go to a salon, okay? And these are my nails. Homegrown, okay? They've grown like this for over 2 decades. Like I said, those are necessities. And sometimes I do go to a salon. I'm very picky of where I go to because, again, my nails are real and they want to do all these things and I don't want that. But I can easily go buy $10 to $20 bottle of nail polish because I buy quality, right? And do it myself. And that bottle lasts multiple times. Whereas if I go to the salon to get a mani-pedi is about $80. That's before tip, and I tip well. Okay? So about $100. That's why I said it's a luxury. It is not a necessity. I'm at the gym, so I can't respond to everything, but I'm so grateful for you. No, get your pump on, guy. 100%. I need to start. I've been so bad lately. I have not been lifting lately, and I need to start lifting more consistently. So thank you for the reminder. And it's not because, oh, I need to do this to have the body that I want. It's because I like doing it. And it's also been proven that lifting weights is anti-aging, and it actually helps with longevity and mobility as you get older. So anyone that makes fun of a gym goer, they're just dumb. I did some lifting. I'm doing bag work right now. Oh, okay. I got you. Bag work. So I'm guessing boxing. Mixed martial arts. Okay. So think about that for just a moment. The biggest one in in that type of sport is who? Who's the greatest of all time? Muhammad Ali. He was saying he's the greatest of all time before he was. He literally declared it. And he didn't care what people said. He was losing matches. Excuse me. He was losing matches, and he was still saying it. That he's the greatest of all time. Some of the biggest successes in history failed multiple times before they were successful. Because no matter the failure, they still said, I am this. This is happening, right? When Jeff Bezos created Amazon, he created a way to sell books online. That was his whole vision, right? His whole vision was to sell books online. And now look at it. Imagine, because when he first started, he was like in a mountain of debt. You can look this up. Like millions of dollars in debt. Right? Trying to get this thing going. Imagine if he had listened to the naysayers that told him, oh, you need to give up on this, just go get a regular job. We wouldn't have Amazon. We would still be buying everything on eBay. Because that was the thing, like, before Amazon. That was the most popular for e-commerce. We wouldn't have Amazon. So think about that. If he had listened to them. I talked about this with a client because she's an entrepreneur, okay? And she has a certain type of business that there's a lot of hate on. And there is it's not anything illegal or bad. It's just I don't want to put her information out there. But there's a lot of hate on it. And a lot of naysayers and a lot of people tearing her down, right? And she said, usually I don't mind the haters, but there's just this one that really got to me. Because they compared it to this, and it made me feel bad, and so I stopped posting content. I was like, why'd you stop posting content? Because one person said something? Do you guys know that Neville Goddard was mocked when he first started his preaching? When he first started his lectures, before he wrote his books, Neville Goddard was mocked for what he was doing. He was called the Mad Mystic. I don't know if you guys know that. Imagine if Neville Goddard listened to that and stopped doing his lectures. Stopped spreading the word that he knew. Right? How he completely transformed his life. Now millions of people are transformed by his words. But imagine if he listened to that. So with that being said, why do you guys listen to other people's opinions of you? They don't live your life. And think of it like this. The reason why they're saying this about you is because that's what they feel about themselves. So give them compassion and love. Give them compassion and love. Think, oh man, they must be really going through it if they're saying this about me. Because that's what they feel about themselves. Right? Someone telling me I have a huge forehead. Yeah, I do. I've got a 5 head. Now what? Right? They're saying that because they don't feel attractive. And they're projecting it onto me. So I think to myself, I honestly hope they see the beauty in themselves. Period. See people differently. Think of it through their perspective. And I promise you everything will change. If you think of people with compassion and love, everything shifts. Because they're you anyway. They're just projections of you. And your projections of them. It's all the same. It's all one. All right, guys. This has been a longer live than I expected it to be. I expect you to only be on here an hour. If you missed it, I went over Bible scriptures in the lens of manifestation. I went over 2 Kings 4, the story of the widow and the oil. And I also went over the story of Jesus feeding 5,000. Matthew 14:13 through 21, if you would like to look those Bible verses up. Literally being the identity and having the knowing. That's what this entire life was about. Because that's what manifestation is. Okay? I'm going to see about downloading this live and editing it and having it posted for a video for people that missed it and that might not want to watch an hour and a half video because the actual coaching was about 20 minutes. We'll see. But guys, if it is you are seeing this as a luxury and you have the means, you can always book coaching with me if you would like. Links to my services are in the description. But if you do it, know that no matter how much you spend, you get it back tenfold. A recent client of mine booked my month-long texting and voice notes, and she made her money back plus interest within 2 days because she went into it with this type of knowing. And this is what I tell you guys. I am not here to put you in debt. I am not here to be that coach that has you spend thousands and then you don't get results or you don't get something of value out of it. Okay? Of course, not everybody gets results because no coach is perfect like that. No coach. I don't care who they are. Right? Because it is up to the individual for them to get results. There's no such thing as manifest for you. Don't fall for it. Only you can manifest in your reality, which is shifting realities by who you're being. But anyway, let's read this last comment here. Abdullah, thanks a lot for the information. To be honest, it was the first time I've ever communicated in the live. Perfect. Well, I'm glad that you're here. JGC, I love you. I love me too. See, this is how you have to be. This is how you have to be. No, I appreciate you. You know I'm being a smart ass. But I will see you guys next time. I will be posting in my community when I am next live. And I think I'm going to keep it where I do a lesson first and then go into Q&A. So if I come on Sundays, we're going to do Bible verses. If I come on during the week, it's going to be some other subject, right? You guys can always comment on this video or any of my videos and telling me what type of topics you'd like me to cover, and I will consider it. But I will see you guys next time. I already know, no matter who's watching this live, whether it was live right now or you're watching the replay, you're about to have the best day or night of your life. And I already know that that's the case for you. Take care.